All right. The closing interview, and obviously we kept the best for last.
Oh.
So, as a lot of you know, this is Elsa Majimbo, internet sensation, chess player, comedian, and icon. Now, Elsa, I'm one of the 2.5 million people that follow you on Instagram, and what I read on your bio is, as I've just mentioned, 15 times chess player, part-time comedian, full-time icon. Now, 2.5 million followers. Yes, we can clap. 2.5 million followers. On TikTok, you've had in the double-digit million views. This wasn't always the case, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about how it all started and what led you to this.
So when everything started, I would make my videos because I remember making my first video and watching it and laughing so hard. I was like, you are absolutely funny. I was on the floor crying. And when I posted it, I lost followers. And I was like, they don't have taste. I had 400 followers and my followers kept on decreasing. And I was, you know what? I'm already at 400. How else can it get? So I just continued posting because they made me happy. And then the pandemic came, my oh my. You know, then people started posting me and reposting. And then I remember the first huge star who reposted me and I was like, was it Lupita Nyong'o? And I went to my parents and I was like, oh my, you wouldn't believe. And then of course after that came Rihanna and Naomi Campbell and Steve Harvey. And now we're here today.
Come on. So, okay, let's go back to that first video, that first retweet, where now you wake up one morning and you're big. How did that feel?
Wow. I don't know, everyone thinks I was just like jumping up and down, but I think for me it was quite a relief to be able to leave school and do something else. Because I didn't like school, and I say this so much, I didn't like school. So when I went viral, the first thing I did was send an email. My dad doesn't even know this. Dad, I'm so sorry. I sent an email, and I said, I regret to inform you that I will be, departing from you. It has been lovely, but this is the end of the road for me. And then a few months later, I went and I told my dad, yeah, I've been thinking about leaving school when I had already left a couple months back. Yeah.
So what was the reaction from your friends, your close family? They see you now go viral. You've left school, you were studying journalism, and now you are on a path that, I don't know, has anybody been on this path before in your family or someone that you know?
I'm actually the first in my family, and they don't treat me different. Every single time I go back home, my mom and dad, they'll be like, oh yeah, today, it's your time to wash the dishes, And they don't, and do you know when you look at them and you're like, do you know who I am? But, it's good. They keep you grounded, they keep you humble, and they're such a blessing. I would never change them for the world.
Now, going to your story, what really fascinates me is the boldness and I want to call it the faith, the belief that you have in yourself. I mean, you go viral and you drop out of school, literally, immediately. What gave you this boldness? What gave you the push and the confidence that you could do this?
I think I just believed in myself, and I believed that I would succeed, which, thinking about it right now, is absolutely delusional. Why would anyone do that? But in the moment, it seemed like such a good idea. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be a superstar. And did I lie? Did I lie? Did I lie?
So let's go to now. You moved from Kenya. You're now in West Hollywood.
Yes.
LA. What does a day in Elsa's life look like?
Oh, I wake up, my whole team wakes up at 7. They start working for me. And at 10 a.m., I start making phone calls, asking people, yeah, have you done this? Have you done that? I check my emails. It's LA, so obviously I go grab a smoothie, I go on a run, I do yoga, just basic LA things. And then if someone is having like a thing, we go, We hung out with Paris Hilton and Madonna. Yeah.
Okay, so let's stay on your normal day in America.
That is a normal day.
Okay, so it's quite a move. You're moving from the African continent to the States. What is the thing that surprised you the most about the States?
I think the food. The food is, yeah, it's extremely unhealthy. I think that was like a shock to me because, hey, yeah, now you have to cook for yourself and all that. And how expensive things are. Oh my goodness. And I tell my manager all the time because I don't know why I do this. If the Uber price goes up because of rush hour, I will sit in the house and wait for it to go down. And I call my manager and I'm like, yeah, I'm not leaving the house. He's like, we're all waiting for you. I'm like, I'm not leaving the house. And he's like, Elsa, you're a millionaire. What are you talking about right now? Can you get here? And he'll be like, you want to talk about spending $10? Are you okay? So for me, that is just, it's not it.
But that speaks to keeping a certain sense of groundedness.
Yeah,
it's understanding the value of a dollar.
Understanding the value of a dollar.
So moving now, I mean, you're literally living a life that I think a lot of people in their young age would want to live. You're on fashion shoots. You're on iconic things. You are hanging out with the Paris Hiltons and the Madonnas of the world. Looking at your life now, is this something that you ever imagined for yourself, looking at who you were as a little girl?
I know. Growing up, I always knew I would become iconic. I didn't know how I would do it, but I knew it would be done. And I'm doing it, and I will keep doing it. And that is always what will be in my path, always.
We like that. We like that. So let's talk about chess.
Let's talk about chess.
15-time chess champion. Are you still playing chess now?
I play chess every single day on my phone, keeps my brain running, keeps me on my toes.
Did you ever imagine that you would pursue a certain career or do it more than recreationally?
Yeah, at some point I thought so. But when I was underage, I used to play with the minors, so it was easier. And then I remember I turned 18, and now I could play anyone from the ages of 18 to 120. And there were people there with like crazy experience. And I'm not a quitter, but after just seeing that, after playing a few games, I was like, let me focus on my career. Yeah.
And your career now, so you are involved in obviously your comedy, your videos, a lot of fashion. Fashion is a passion of yours, right?
Yes.
So tell us more about what you're doing in the fashion space.
So I work with, designer brands, big designer brands. I shoot for magazine covers. I remember my first magazine cover was Vogue, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
It was Vogue. And I just do that, and I work with the creative directors just to make it better for me, and they do what I want, and they give me free space, free mind. We go for the events, and all those things, and it's a beautiful space.
I have to say one thing that I really like about you. So you're in all these glamorous spaces, but when we look at your TikTok, your Instagram, your videos have kept a certain aesthetic. They remain authentic. Is that something that's intentional for you?
Yes. I just like being chilled. I like chilled vibes, For me, I like, as much as all this is happening, I've missed a lot of things because I wanted to watch Netflix, I missed red carpet events because the new season of You just came out, and that's what I want to do. So for me, being at home and just enjoying my own company and being by myself, it's very important for me, and it's something I absolutely love. So that's who I want to portray. I don't want to put out a new life because this is new to me. I don't want to push out a new life and pretend like, oh, yeah, this has always been me. No. The me that's always been me is me who wants to sit down and watch Breaking Bad from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And that's really authentic and honest of you to say. And from our conversation, and also I had the pleasure of meeting your brother just now, you're very close to your family as well.
Yes.
And do you still get to see them often, despite you living on the other side of the world, literally?
Yeah, you know, I thought when I leave, oh, I'm going to be so heartbroken and I wouldn't see my family as much. Oh my goodness, I see them all the time. They are always there. They're always there. I always see my family. I don't go more than a few weeks without seeing my family. And it will just be like this. We're on vacation together, you know. They came to support me. Or I'll go see them in Kenya, or I'll do something with one of my siblings. So we always see each other, and we always stay because we know the importance of holding Majimbos together. Yeah.
That's really nice. And reflecting, I mean, you're still very young. I'm not going to say your age because we don't talk about women's age, but you're very young. You're an under 30, that we can say in this context. You've still got so much in front of you, but you've also got a few years to reflect on. Looking at where you are right now, what would be the advice that you would give to a younger Elsa?
What you're doing is, okay, like follow your instinct as you always have, and always work harder. You know, you're young. You have time. Even if you feel like you've accomplished, there's always more to accomplish. Like, I'm young right now, and so I can't just sit down and say, oh yeah, I've done enough, I'm retired. No, I always want to make more, go further, and build things for myself and show other young black girls, you know, I did it, so why can't you? You can do it too. And I will be there to push you and to help you. So that is what
We like that. That's a very strong and positive message for the young black girls out there. We love that. Thank you, Elsa. And what I also want to know is, and I'm going to go back to your videos, your earlier videos, when you look at them now, do they still make you laugh?
Oh my goodness, every day. I am so funny. Oh my God.
I really agree. And I think that speaks to passion and to loving what you do, and also to believing in yourself. I think there would be a problem if you would put out a video that 2 weeks later you watch and you don't like anymore, and you think, hey, this is actually not so funny. But I also have to ask you, okay, let me rephrase my question. Have you made any videos that you don't find funny anymore?
No. Never, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you keep your creativity going? How do you make sure that you keep on pushing new content, that it stays funny, that it stays relevant?
I'm just myself. I don't know how I do it, but I'm just, because for me, it's from within. Because I'm glad people like my content, and it's helped push me far, and that's great. But as long as I find it funny, then it is the most hilarious thing on this planet, and I will post it up. So that is how I just be myself, and I let it be, and it is what it is.
So that's great. And there's a lot of people that are looking up to you, that are seeing your journey, that are inspired by it, literally overnight success, pandemic success. How do you see your role as a person of influence in terms of maybe bringing forward other issues that help people?
I think for me, because I'm a young black girl, so I know how we need to work way harder than most people on this planet. And for me, my biggest agenda right now is to help ease that path as much as I can, whether it's building schools or making sure, or I see this girl who is stunning and I say, oh, you should model with this and that, and I say, I'm going to hook you up. Or if it's creating an acting school and showing them that you really can't do whatever you want, and the world has just put it in a way where they make it harder, and it's up to other black girls to break that down.
Yeah, absolutely. And what advice would you give to the other people in the room? And it's something that I asked in the other panel as well. I think that a lot of us, whether we recognize it or not, have an influence and have the power to really move needles and to have an impact in people's lives. So what would you say is your advice, or what would you like to see us do?
Um, enjoy your life. It's never that deep. People will try and discourage you, and you can do anything you want, and chase that bug until it starts chasing you.
Now, moving on to the topic of Forbes 30 under 30. You've still got a couple of years in your under 30. What's next for you?
Oh, so I moved to LA, obviously. So I got very much into the Hollywood space, and now I'm starting to do my movies and my TV shows and my series. And I'm so excited. You're gonna see me on the big screen. You're gonna see me on the big screen. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Just make that Hollywood money. Yeah.
Do you see yourself leaving Hollywood, or is this going to be home for a couple of years?
Home. I love that place. I love everything about it. Everyone says Hollywood is so fake, oh, it's this, it's that. I like that, and it's not okay. So I'm going to build my family, I'm going to settle there, I'm going to convince my parents to move there. So it's going to be amazing.
We'll check in with them in a few months into the year and see where they're living. But okay, so life in Hollywood, you see yourself being there, you see yourself moving onto the big screens, you're already doing it now, TV show, movies, and this is something that you've been working towards. Now, how do you make sure that as you ascend, as you keep growing and growing in your exposure, your influence, your recognizability, not really a word, but we'll say it anyway. How do you make sure that you stay grounded in this?
My family. Oh, they humble me every single day. I remember when I first showed my dad a video of mine, and I was like, isn't this so funny? Because it had 10 million views and tens of thousands of comments, and people were laughing. And my dad looked at me and he was like, where's the joke? So, so just things like that. So my family, they will always humble me. And for that, it just helps me stay grounded. And even when I'm about to make like stupid financial decisions, I always talk to my dad and I tell him, and I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And they'll give me like great advice. And that just helps me be the Elsa I've always been and not the new Elsa that I just found.
Yeah, that sounds pretty wise.
And they make me wash dishes. So that's something else.
Okay, and so in looking at your journey so far and all that you've accomplished, what has been for you the most pivotal moment, like the highlight? And we're not talking just the videos. Like, some people will say it will be a certain moment where you really realize that this was really true. Like, what's been that moment for you?
When I realized this is all true, I mean, even right now, damn, Forbes 30 under 30, this is insane. Every single day when I wake up and I look in the mirror and I look around me, I still can't believe this is real. I'm still waiting for me to wake up and this was all just, this never happened. Every single day, I cannot believe it, and I'm so grateful that it did, and I'm grateful to every single person who helped me get here today. Yeah.
That's awesome. And speaking of those people, who helped you get here? Who would you say are, your support system that got you to the place where you are?
My family, of course. But also like a couple of guys in Hollywood they were very kind to me, like when I first got there. Lupita, of course, and Naomi, of course, and even when I was trying to go to the States and I needed the recommendations, I remember Usain Bolt being there to write my letters for me, and some Barcelona players, and Bozoma St. John from Netflix, like so many amazing and great people just saw this girl from Kenya and they said, she's going to be a star. And they said, we are going to help uplift her. And they didn't need to do that. I couldn't have added value. There's nothing I was giving them that they were missing, but they still helped push me. And oh my goodness, I'm so glad.
And these are really big names that believed in you, that saw something, and that wanted to almost like paved the path for you to be able to be where you are today. Is this something that you see yourself doing for other people after you?
Oh, yes, of course, 100%. I'm doing it right now, working on it right now. You cannot be uplifted, then you get into a space and your head becomes so big and you say, it was all me, it was all me. If it wasn't my talent, you can't do that. You are uplifted by someone else, and it's your job to make sure other people get a chance, just as you did. And I'm going to make sure I do that.
Wow. So a few people found out that I was doing this fireside chat today, and they put a lot of pressure on me and said, so it's going to be very, very funny, isn't it? And I said, I'm not sure. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm not the one bringing the humor here. But do you ever find yourself in a position where you don't feel like being funny?
Yes. Yes. A lot of times. And the thing about being in the comedic space is that sometimes you'll say random things and it is not funny in the slightest. And then just because everyone around you wants to make you happy, they're just like, and everyone starts laughing. And you're like, well, what did I say? What did I say that's so funny? But it's not every day. It's not every day. Sometimes I just want to chill. I'm a normal person who likes to do normal things. Sometimes I just want to relax. I'm not always funny and laughing, and it's not always good and dandy. Yeah.
So how do you keep going in those times?
To be honest, I just wait for it to end. I just kind of wait for it to end. Or retail therapy, just go buy myself some cute pair of shoes. Or sometimes I'll get on a plane and go somewhere else. I'll be like, you know what? I'll pack my bags. And I'll say, where in the world can I go? And I go there.
Changing your environment, I also do that.
Changing your environment, yeah.
So in closing, we've had a full, actually day 2, Forbes 30 under 30, people coming from all over the world that have done incredible things. What is the one thing, you come from Kenya, the African continent, what is the one thing that as everybody leaves here today, you want them to leave knowing about our continent?
There's so much talent in Africa. There's so much talent in Africa, and that has been overlooked for a really long time. But I think right now things are changing. Even in LA when we're there, when we're going for concerts, you tell people, oh, you want to go for a Justin Bieber concert? They're like, eh. And then you say, you want to go for the Wizkid concert next week? Everyone, tickets sold out, So I think things are changing, and people are really starting to see that the thing that is in Africa is invaluable, and no matter how much you try to suppress it, sooner or later it's going to come out.
Indeed and indeed. Elsa, thank you so much. You're an absolute star. It's an honor for me to be able to interview today, and I wish you nothing but the absolute best.
This was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.